Unafraid Show. It's your boy, George Reister, in the building. Thank you guys for joining me today. We are Unafraid Show in 2019. Switching it up the way we can get even more real for everybody. Faith, family, food, fatherhood, and sports. That's what we are about. Period. So we're going to be talking about all the things that matter to me, that matter to you, that we are passionate about. So we can have great discussions on a daily basis, and I can bring the heat with good guests, all type of stuff. We got all type of great interviews up, all of that. And thank you guys for joining me. Please share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. So today, we're going to get into a topic that I saw trending when I got in this morning. We're going to talk about the Gillette ad. We're going to talk about Future versus Russell Wilson and Ciara, toxic masculinity, and sports hate. That's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing that I want to get into is, you guys, as usual, send in your comments via however you listen to it. However you watch it, I will get to them or email them in to Immad, IMMAD, at unafraidshow.com, and I will get to them. So the first thing about, I want to go into Future versus Ciara and Russell Wilson. So the comments that Future made, that Russell Wilson's not a man, that's not manhood, he needs to control his girl, and she just does whatever she says. All of those things. It made me sad. And it brought me right back to the Gillette ad with the toxic masculinity. And this is the very thing that needs to be changed amongst men in general and black men in particular. Because first of all, these things that we were taught about being a man are completely wrong, are completely just off left field. Because I was told when I was young, I used to hear a comment, men do what they want, boys do what they can. Okay, yeah, that's true to a certain extent. But the reality is, and then also the other thing is that if you were a person who was doting, loving on a woman, expressing your love, your care, and all of that, or you didn't, or you opted out doing things from your friends occasionally to hang out with your girl, oh, you were a simp. You weren't a real man. This is not manhood. And as I got older, as a 37-year-old, I see, wow, no, this is actual manhood. It's actually manhood for me to love on my wife, for me to treat her properly, for me to do all these things. That's where the real manhood is. Yeah, what's up, George? That's where the real manhood is to have is if you choose to have a family, is to have a family, to raise your kids, because I have honor when my wife's on Steve Harvey. I have honor when my kids get good great grades in school, and that they show love to their mom, to my wife, to their family, when they are good, educated black men and black women. That's what gives me honor. My manhood is not attached to my wife wanting to make a decision and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. We have to stop as men, and as black men in particular, attaching our manhood to stuff that's not even manly. And Future, he looks like a bitter dude who's just not able to really cope with the fact that he does not have control over his baby mama. And listen here, I'm the perfect person to talk about this. 2 baby mamas. Have my kids a lot of the time. However, I had to get over the idea that I could control what went on in my baby mama's house. That her in a new relationship or whatever, that I was still going to have control over these things. And that's where Future is stuck at. Because as a married man, here's what I've learned. Your relationships with your family change when you get married. Your relationships with your friends change a little bit. My relationship with other women changed a little bit. So why would I be naive enough to think that my relationship with my baby mama shouldn't change a little bit as well? because you have a whole new house. You have a whole new way of doing things. You have a whole new life. So, of course, it's going to change, and it's supposed to change. So the idea that Future thinks that Russell Wilson's not a man because he runs his household differently is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. And we have to get out of this idea of black men have to get out of this idea, oh, I'm a real nigga. I do whatever I want to do. Nah, real niggas end up in jail because you got to follow rules. And my dad asked me a question, and I always ask men who've been married for a long time, how do you stay married for a long time? The common answer is this: either happy wife, happy life, or do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Those are the questions that you always have to ask. Do I want to be happy or do I want to be right? Because here is how most married men work, which is the same way my household works. Which is my wife kind of controls the day-to-day activities that go on in the house. You know, kind of where we're going to kind of eat, sort of, what we're kind of going to do, the kids, or all of that kind of stuff. But then when it comes to because I don't really care about a whole lot of that stuff. But when it comes to major decisions that need to be made, she is forefront and center at talking to me, communicating with me about these things. And I kind of have final say over a lot of these things. Like, that's the way my household works. And that's the way a lot of the successful households that I know work. Because this idea that Future has about Russell Wilson is absolutely crazy. It's what we were taught in our community. These are the things that I was taught that were wrong. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense why we would do that. So here is the thing that we have to really take in account is what are we honoring and what are we valuing? What are we valuing? That's the most important thing. What are we valuing? Because I know so many men who, well, and in the black community as well, and in just men in general, we honor actors, entertainers higher than we honor other people. Think about it. It's more honorable to be Future than it is to be Russell Wilson. How does that make sense? I mean, really think about it. It's cool and all, but like Future's popular, he's handsome, he's got money, all of these things. He's also got baby mama drama. He's got a bunch of baby mamas. He can't possibly spend enough time with each of them being the father and the leader that he needs to be for all of them. And this is coming from a man who has a household that I have to split at times. So I understand. I mean, Russell Wilson, who people say, oh, he acts white. He's not this. He's not a real nigga. Excuse me? This dude is out in the world doing great things. He volunteers at children's hospitals every single Tuesday, gives his free time, has a clothing line. He's a leader of men. He's well respected. He reads books. He's got his college degree. These are things that are honorable in life. Having 8 kids and not being able to despite the fact that you can support them, because that is important to be financially stable and solvent to be able to take care of your kids. Very important. But it's also extremely important the time and the energy and the life lessons that you teach them. And you can't do that showing up every other weekend. You can't do that showing up once a month for a week, every couple months. You can't do that. And that's why I applaud Russell Wilson. It takes a lot to take on somebody else's kid and be a father figure to them and love them the same way as you love your own kids. The same way that you and give of your time and energy. So that's why step parents a lot of times go underappreciated until the kids get older and they're like, damn, like I had somebody there who was loving me and taking care of me. I mean, why do we honor or respect Kodak Black more than Myron Rolle? Myron Rolle went to Florida State, was an All-American, could have been a first-round draft pick, was a Rhodes Scholar. There are very few Rhodes Scholars. He was an All-American in football and a Rhodes Scholar. Got to the NFL, played a few years, and then left to go be a neurosurgeon. Yeah, but instead of honoring him, I'm going to be like Kodak Black. What kind of sense does that make? Dude's in and out of jail. Doesn't have a degree, not well read. Like, we have to change our perspective on what manhood is and who we honor. Because to me, I would rather my kid be Myron Rolle than Kodak Black or Future. I would rather my kid be Russell Wilson. I would rather him be Steph Curry. So my question to you is, why is that corny? Like, why is that looked at as corny in our community? And why does a Future get a pass? And why do we try to act like that this is cool? That it's cool that we put our manhood in that. And that's what got me to the Gillette ad. So all this Future, Russell Wilson, Ciara talk got me to the Russell Wilson ad. I'm sorry, to the Gillette ad with the toxic masculinity. Because there was a lot of men who were mad about that. Oh, no, they're attacking manhood, all of this. And I was thinking, no, actually, it's not. Because masculinity is not bad. It's the toxic masculinity which Future is displaying, which is not honoring people who are of accomplishment, minimizing them, and then also not treating people properly. That's toxic masculinity thinking, because I'm a man, I can do whatever I want to do. That's not real manhood. Real manhood is servitude. Like, I serve my family. I serve my community. That's real manhood. Not just doing what I want to do. Because I can still be a man's man, be masculine, be wild at heart, which is a great book. Pick it up if you haven't. It's a great book. It's called Wild at Heart. We don't need to get rid of cheerleaders, boxing, hunting, wrestling, like things that are directly catered to men. But it does mean redefining manhood from only providing and protecting to showing up, loving, and being emotionally available to the people that you love. Because here's what I've learned about women. We all know we don't understand them fully, but here's what I've learned is that women are growers. They grow whatever you put in them. Whether you're their father, whether you're their brother, their uncle, whatever. They grow whatever you put in them. So yes, there are some grown women who are broken because they had poor things put into them by men, whether it's absence or abuse, any of these things. So they grow what you put in them. So with my wife, if I'm loving, attentive, if I am all of these things, if I treat her like a queen, then that grows in her and it comes back to me and I get what I need and what I want. And a lot of times us men, we don't realize that. We think that we need to get, when in actuality, leadership is about serving. Leadership is not about telling people what to do. Because if people respect you, if you serve them, then guess what? When you ask them to do things, that respect kicks in. They do it and they follow you because they respect you. And that's where Future has it all wrong with Russell Wilson. Doesn't respect the right things. And that goes to what we're taught as men. And that toxic masculinity, using the excuse or overlooking jerk behavior and calling it boys will be boys. So that's why we can't get masculinity, which is great and good for men, and toxic masculinity mixed up. One's good, one's positive, the other one is negative. I mean, really. Then the other comment I got about it was, hey, men aren't the only people that treat people poorly. How about those women? How about those feminists? Yeah, there are feminists that try to emasculate men and take it too far because men and women were created differently. Like, I am equipped with a different set of skills than my wife is. So yes, we are supposed to be doing different things. And your husband, wife, whatever, may be set up with different skills than you have. So you do the things that you have the best skills at, and you leave the other stuff to the other person, or have the other person teach you. Because I thought about this as it related to relationships. Because a lot of times us men, we don't understand what women really want. A lot of times it doesn't seem like they understand what they really want. But we are here to serve, and they grow what we put in them. So let's put the right things in them. And instead of calling a guy out for saying, oh man, you're a simp, you're weak, you're just doing what your wife wants you to do. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But the reality is, you don't think that Jay-Z makes concessions for Beyonce? Yeah, he's looked at as dope and powerful, doing great things. But I find it interesting, like that same crowd that agrees with Future is that same crowd that looks at Jay-Z right now and says, oh man, he ain't as real as he used to be. Yeah, but Jay-Z is real. He's real happy now. He's real happy. That's what he is. He might not be a real nigga no more, but he's happy. He's got a good life. He's got multiple kids. His wife talks about him. He's honored when she goes out. He's honored when his kids go out. And that's where the real honor in manhood is. It's not about me. Because I can have all the greatest things all out in the world. But if my family's in chaos, that's a problem. You guys watching the Unafraid Show, George Rice here. Make sure you swipe up, share the feed, and tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. That's where my honor is, in my family. My honor is in my accomplishments out in the world as well. Because, and that's why I say that Future has it all wrong. And this is not a shame on having a bunch of baby mamas, because like I said at the beginning, I got two. So I can speak from this. And that it is hard. And your heart breaks all the time. Like, I have my kids half the time, but it breaks my heart all the time when they have to leave sometimes. When they leave to go with their mom. Breaks my heart. And I wish I had a different life. But at the same time, when I have friends that look at my life and say, wow, G, I want what you have. I want the life I see with your family on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all these things. It's not perfect, but it's damn good though. It is. Could it be better? Yeah. If my family was all in one house, my kids, yeah, didn't have to go back and forth, yeah, that would make it better. So that's just the truth, man. Like, we have to stop honoring the people who belittle other men and don't understand, because Future when have you seen him have a solid relationship, a healthy relationship? Have you seen that happen? The answer is no. You haven't seen that out of Future. That's why married men live longer. They have somebody who takes care of them. And the other thing that we have to really notice, pay attention, is that a lot of times, if you have a good woman, you first of all, you got to find out the difference between a good one and a not a good one. But if you have a good one, there are going to be some times where she calls you out on your stuff. And it's going to feel like hate. It's going to feel like negativity. But in reality, that's her job, which is to boost you up. Her job is to boost people up. Her job is to grow, to help the family grow, help the kids grow, help you grow. So sometimes she's not going to agree with your decision, and she might be right. Sometimes she's going to need something, and you might not like it. But guess what? That's the right thing to do. Because your family and all this stuff's got to come first. We have to drop our pride and understand the things that matter the most. What's up? What's up, Ed? And Ed Dixon. So he just came in. A guy I've known from Oregon. He's a guy who, when you look at his family, I'm pretty sure he would not agree with what Future said about Russell Wilson. He plays with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's a great man. Takes care of his family. Takes care of Future's family. Like, we have to honor the things in life that matter. Like, Ed's a good husband, good father. That's what brings you honor, not catching footballs, not catching touchdowns. These are the things that matter the most out in life, man. And that's what we have to honor. You guys, I will get to your comments in just a second. Because it just had me, this whole Future talking about Russell Wilson, it just had me so upset because it hurts when you see men like Russell Wilson get called corny. When you get, even though a guy I don't agree with very much, a guy like Ben Carson called whack. Dude's a neurosurgeon, one of the best to ever do it. These are the things that we have to honor out in our community, and we have to teach our kids that this is the right way, that these are the things that are honorable, and that having a wife and you actually conceding some things to her because that's what makes her happy is just fine, and it is just okay. Because having your house happy and in order is better than being a real dude. Way better. Way better. It's way more honorable. And you get more joy, more peace, more happiness out of that. Let me look at these comments and see what I got. Any questions? Because this is so crucial, man. Like, this is so crucial that we have to do that. Okay, so somebody said that, somebody in the comments said he's a simp ass dude. Okay, that Russell Wilson is. What is simpish? Guys, I mean, like, what is not being a man about anything that Russell Wilson does? He volunteers in hospitals. He donates his money, time, energy to helping people. Huh? What are we actually honoring? What is manhood? Because I know what I was taught when I was in middle school. There was a game called Hitting Licks. Hitting Licks. And what you did is you grabbed the girl, like at the end of the day, everybody would say, how many licks did you hit? And it was just a game where you walk by and grab girls' butts. Yeah. And this was like socially acceptable. This was socially acceptable. But now as you get older, you're like, why the hell did I think that was okay? Like, why was I listening to idiots tell me that this is okay? And that's why we have to raise our men to honor the doctors, lawyers, accountants, business people who are out there hustling way above we honor the Kodak Blacks and Futures of the world. I mean, really, that's who deserves the honor. More than Russell Wilson. I'm sorry, more than Future, who has no clue how to have a successful relationship, but he's speaking on Russell Wilson. We get that a lot. 40, 30, 40, 50-year-old man. They always got something who aren't married, don't have successful relationships. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, forget him. He don't know how to do it. You clearly don't know how to do it. This man is happy. That's all that matters. And I talked about it earlier. And the reason why I feel comfortable speaking about this is because I've been through this. Like, I've been to court with a baby mama. I've been to had custody issues, had fights, had all these things. And the problem that I noticed that I had early was that I was trying to control what a baby mama does. You can't. You have your house. She's got your house. Sorry, bad news. You shouldn't have had that many kids. That's the truth. And that's the truth I have to tell myself all the time. When I get frustrated or irritated about something where I don't like the way it's going. I mean, we have to teach our boys and our men what manhood really is. Manhood is showing up, providing, protecting, and loving. The loving gets left out a lot of times. That doesn't mean that we're supposed to be as emote and emotionally, connected as women are. No, we just have to be there loving and available to our wife, kids, mother, sister, brother, family, all of these people that we love and care about. That's the truth. And we have to put honor on people who deserve it. On the Myron Rolls, on the Russell Wilsons, on the Ben Carsons, even though I don't agree with everything he does, on the Jay-Z's. People who are accomplished doing great things. That's where the honor is. Because we don't, especially in the black community, pay attention to delayed gratification. Because delayed gratification, which is going to school, getting your education, hustling your way up through starting a business, not going for the quick money, doing something you're passionate about and love that's a career that has a future. That's what we need to honor. And get rid of the toxic masculinity that Future is talking about. Oh, he's not controlling his woman. You can't control your women. You got 8 kids, a bunch of baby mamas. You can't control none of them. That's why they left. That's why you got baby mamas instead of a wife, because you want to do what you want to do. Instead of doing what's best for everybody, your family, being a real leader. Come on in, man. Come on in. You guys are watching the Unafraid Show. George Reister here. Sorry if I'm getting a little preachy today, but this is something that goes against everything I believe. And Unafraid Show. It's about faith, fatherhood, family, food, and sports, and where they all intersect. And this was a topic where it all intersected. You guys, please make sure you share the feed. Tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. Download the podcast. Go to unafraidshow.com. We'll have an article about this topic in particular up tomorrow. I appreciate it. Peace out. Catch you guys later.